Alright, welcome. Or welcome back, as the case may be. So today we've got rock mining on Bloom in Pyro 4.0. I had somebody ask whether there was rock mining here, so yes, there is. Um, there has not been enough rock mining done yet to say where the best place is. Although, I mean, others may have seen, but I haven't. I tried Bloom first just because I like the planet. And the only thing I really found offhand quick was Dolomite and Aphorite. So, um, if you're just looking to rock mine, I'd probably say you're better off just to go ahead and stay in Stanton. Um, at least until we start figuring out where some of these other places are, the best places are. Now, if you're starting in Pyro, then by all means, go ahead and try your hand at it, or if you just want to do it. Um, this one was just a little quick one that I did. You can hit tab while you're picking up to see where they are. Otherwise, they're just little gems on the ground. Alright, and so basically we'll just keep picking up. Hitting tab as we need to see where they are. Um, I actually got out of mining mode to turn around a little bit, but theoretically you could back up or turn around even in mining mode in a rock. Alright, that looks like all of it. So then we'll load back up into the C1, which is what I brought this time. So, a little uneven ground here. Alright. This little slope is causing all kinds of issues. There we go. Get up in there. Alright, and you'll see the one SCU crate behind here. What I did was I actually picked up a one SCU crate to bring with me. That way I can empty out the rock in between. And then theoretically I'll be able to just store that in the hangar through the freight elevator. And then I can either unload it to my inventory or just try to sell straight from there. There we go. So $48 bond. And we'll go over here to this container and we'll put it in here. Alright. Go ahead and take off here and go find some more. Now, particularly on Bloom, the rock minables were pretty few and far between. But as you can see right here, I'm not seeing much of anything. So it's probably area dependent, like where you come down at. So I've actually mined in a prospector on Bloom and actually found some pretty good results with some terranite, vexillite, and so forth, and gold. I haven't found any of the new materials yet, but I'm sure they're there. Now keep in mind, typically rock minables only show up with when you're within about 5K. So if you're seeing stuff out to 8, 10K, then that's not going to be rock minables. That's going to be actual prospector ship minables. Alright, we'll go ahead and switch it to nav here and see about... Yeah, it looks like we're really not going much faster. They definitely did a good job on Bloom. I mean, just look at that cloud cover. Shadows on the ground from it, the whole works. Alright, so 7.5, that's not going to be rock mineable. That's going to be a ship size mineable. So actual rocks. But this one over here showed up under 5K. So more than likely, it should be a rock mineable. There it is, right there below me. Bunch of apparite. So we'll go ahead and get landed here and pick that up as well. Now obviously they're not as valuable as hadnite, but if you get enough of them, it still adds up. We'll see if we can find a good spot to land here. Just kind of go right past it maybe. And all I got to do is pull out and start mining. All right, let's see if that'll work. Yep, that'll work. Let's go ahead and get the rock out and get to mining. As far as the rock goes, typically I store it with the vehicle on and the engines off. That seems to work the best, and I haven't had too much trouble with it. I also try to make sure I carry max lift tractor beam, because if I'm not mistaken, I think you can actually pick up a rock with it to put it back in the vehicle if you need to. So, rock seems to be a little jumpy coming out of the ships, so apparently they haven't fixed that completely. And of course, you only got so much room. There we go. Alright. Now hit tab. And it's back behind here. There we go. Off to the side. Alright. So we'll go up around here and start cracking these rocks. And I just get close enough and then I hit down. And then you can use your mouse to move it around. Typically I believe it's right mouse, it's left alt and left mouse button in order to switch between fracture and extract, I believe. And much like when we're mining regular rocks in a prospector, you're going to run the level up until you're in the green, let it charge, try to keep it about midway or below, just so if you get a spike or something, it doesn't blow on you. And rock mining can actually be a pretty good starting way to make money. I mean, literally, you can rent a cutlass if you don't have a ship that'll carry it. I think it's like 50 or 60 grand, I believe. But the rock itself only cost about 100. So if you followed my tutorial of the tutorial, where I actually did a couple of cargo missions, hauling missions afterwards, you'd actually have enough right then to buy a rock. So if you already have a ship that'll carry it, then you're good to go. I'll have to double check. The didn't used to fit in a cutter without the door shutting, or with the door shutting, but it might have changed. I'll take a look. There might be a way to do that. You might have to pull it in forward or something. Now they do have some work to do on rock mitables, I believe, because I've noticed that some of these rocks looks like they're actually embedded in the terrain, or the black rock that you see laying all over the place. So, and you can't really get to them. Some of them you can get to them when you crack them. You can't actually get to the gems. So, although I did notice while I was cracking this apatite that they seem to fall in a pretty good little pile. So they're pretty quick to pick up. So it's almost a shame it's not worth a lot more. So we'll go ahead and get all these broke. And then I know some people say to go to Aberdeen and rock mine. Some people say to go to Daymar. I'm firmly in the Daymar camp. I've actually found pretty good bits of headnite there. Usually it's some pretty good patches of like 8, 10, 15 rocks. And you don't need a special suit or anything for it. So, I mean, theoretically, I believe you could even mine on Daymar without a helmet. I wouldn't, but you could. Whereas Aberdeen, you got to have the high temperature suit that they sell at the refineries. And that's not cheap. I want to say you're looking at probably, well, it used to be probably about 15 grand for the suit and the helmet. So I would imagine it might be more now. I haven't looked. And obviously when we're just starting out, we don't have that much money, so we don't want to have to put it into one suit of armor. Alright. There we go. Again, unless they're on a hill, they seem to actually congregate close together for easy pickup. So, obviously if it's behind stuff, that can be an issue, but... Alright. Rest of this one picked up. And again, I'm a firm believer in crack 1 or 2 rocks and pick up, just so that you're not having to pick up all kinds of them at once. So, and as I said, apatite's not really worth a lot compared to like hadnite, but when you have this number of rocks, it's definitely worth it. You know, and realistically, you spend a couple hours mining hadnite, apatite, and dolomite, then you could theoretically come back with 300,000-400,000 worth of gems without too much trouble. Which, you know, of course, is well worth it, especially starting out. Right now, the hauling missions seem to be the way to go. If you actually have a ship that'll haul up to like 100 SCU or so. But you can still find the smaller ones, so you can still do it even in a cutter. And they're paying about 50 grand a pop right now, up to about 10 SCU, 11 SCU. So it's a good way to get started. And you can always keep an eye out. Like if you only have 8 SCU, like say you have an Avenger Titan, or you have to do Intrepid, you could just, you know, keep an eye out for hauling missions that can go up to 8 SCU and do those. They're still going to be around the 50K mark. So somewhere between about 40, I think the lowest one I saw was like 43. And they've got them going all the way up to like 60 or 70 for rookie level hauling missions. Let's say what you obviously how you play the game is up to you, but I'd say your best bet is be well-rounded industrial player between mining, salvaging, and hauling. That'll pretty much get you where you want to be. You know, not to mention the fact that if you're mining or hauling or salvaging, you're going to need to be able to haul it as well. But if you had to break it down to one ship, I would get the cutter to start. If you could actually go a little more expensive up in 175 range, you could theoretically either buy a vulture or you can even upgrade the cutter to a vulture. That'll give you a 12 SCU grid with actual capability to do up to about 23 to 26 SCU in the cargo hold with an external entrance on the front. You know, not to mention the fact that you can salvage, which you can do. You know, a full load of RMC, you're probably looking at 300,000 plus. So, and you can get that from panels with no problem. Just go to any of the Lagrange points in the asteroid patches, belts, or even go to like Yella, or even go into the belt, the Heron Halo. So, but we'll get the rest of these rocks all mined up. We should be good. And then we'll have to decide whether to keep trying here or head back over to Stanton. So, personally, with the frequency with which I was seeing rock minables here, I prefer to stay in Stanton for rock mining. It just seems to work a little better. Now, with that being said, if we start to discover locations that have a higher frequency, then it'll be well worth it to come over here, especially if you can get some of the new materials. But until that time, to build up money starting out, I'd say your better bet is stay in Stanton. Now, with that being said, I've actually done some salvage in the asteroids over in Pyro. I've done some mining on Bloom. I've done some rock mining here on Bloom. And as of yet, I really haven't seen anybody else or had any threatening situations. Now, whether that's because people are avoiding over here or what, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if everybody's staying in Stanton, that's where the pirates are going to stay. So the only people you're going to really see over here much are probably going to be people going to contested zones. But who knows? Could be. I put out this video, and a week from now, maybe everybody and their brothers in Pyro getting attacked. So it is the nature of a game. It happens. All right, and obviously, as you're doing these, the higher the percentage of apparite or dolomite or hadnite or whatever the case may be, the more gems typically you're going to get from it. Yeah, just can't get over how they're just hanging together. I mean, obviously that happens if you don't explode the rock, but all right, let's get these three. And we'll move on from there to the next rocks around the corner here. Seems to be a little glitching desync type thing. Also, if you're running any issues with your ROC, like maybe the laser not working right, anything like that, just stow it, hit M, and stow it, and pull it back out again. A lot of times that will fix it. But otherwise, I mean, functionally, rock mining is really no different than prospector mining as far as the mechanics of it. You're literally going to turn your laser on, charge up the rock until it's in the green, hold it there until it breaks, and then you're going to extract it. The difference is with aphrite, dolomite, and hadnite, and even janolite if you ever come across any, but I think that's strictly FPS mineable still. You can sell it immediately, you don't have to refine it. Whereas with prospector mining, you do. And that's why I said it can be a good thing to start out with. So, alright. For a little bit and get these. Remember, you want to stay inside that optimal zone. Much like the prospector or the mole or whatever, you can actually control the power of the laser somewhat from the distance away. You cannot change the mining head on the ROC yet. There are no alternatives, so it's what you get is what you get. There's no modules or anything like that yet. Be nice someday when they have that. And then rumor has it the ROC DS, which is the two-person ROC, they're actually talking about making it so that the minehead operator is actually enclosed too. So now, with that being said, unless something has changed drastically, just keep in mind that when you're in this ROC, you're exposed to the elements. There is no oxygen in it or anything like that. It's all open. Or at least you might as well treat it as being open. I haven't actually, I mean, it looks like there's glass in it and stuff, but and for those of you not familiar with the ROC holds 80 CSEU, which is the equivalent of like cargo CSU, I believe it is. I could be wrong on that. I don't remember. I remember it being said that it's cargo SCU, and that's not normal SCU. So it takes 100 CSCU to make one SCU. All right. And here's a couple of those rocks I was talking about. Look like they're actually embedded. This one's fine, but these over here are actually embedded in the rock. So we probably won't be able to get those. Well, one we probably won't even be able to mine. The other one might be able to mine, but we probably won't be able to pick up. Now, much like with the prospector, if you want to drive it up into the charge zone faster, you just apply more power and then cut way back afterwards to keep it steady. Because with the ROC minables, it really doesn't take much to set them off. So if you go too high, you'll notice most of the mining I've been doing here is keeping it steady is about 15 to 20%. So if you actually blow one of these rocks, you actually have the potential of not just damaging obviously your equipment, but theoretically you could end up scattering the rocks all over the place where it's just not feasible to collect them all. And I've even seen in some cases where it actually exploded some of the rocks next to it. So just keep that in mind. Be mindful of... There we go. I should get it. Yep, there we go. We'll go ahead and try and break this, but realistically, the gems end up falling down by the base of the rock, so we're probably not going to be able to pick them up. But we'll give it a try. Alright. Just about. There we go. Now we hit tab, and as you can see, we get some of them, but not all of them. It's like they fell inside the rock. So even though it looks like they're out, they're not. They're actually underneath that rock there. So that's just wasted. As nice as it would be to pick it all up, unfortunately, we're just not going to get it. All right, and it looks like we just have another rock around the corner here or so. So we'll go ahead and head over there and get that. Alright, now it looks like it's going to be it. I was hoping I get to it from the backside, but no. So let's go ahead and head back over to the ship, get loaded up, then we'll decide whether we want to keep going or not. Alright. Now, how you store this in your ship is up to you. I usually like to back in. That way I can just pull right out. Because sometimes I can get close enough to the rocks where I don't even have to pull it off the ramp. Or at least not much. I can literally pull it straight out. Pull it straight out. Get the rocks. Get back in and leave. Because, much like prospector mining, it's quantity sometimes over quality. I mean, obviously, you want to get the best you can. But in a case like this, where all I was finding was dolomite and aphrite, which I only showed you a couple of the instances where I was mining, I actually did find more, but it was just literally dolomite and aphrite everywhere. And they were few and far between. So, but even so, I mean, this was a nice little patch. You know, we got 380 something. Looks like 384. If you've sold aphrite before, that's actually not too bad. You can only store about 100, 120 in the Arrow backpack. So we'll get these all stacked. We'll get them moved over. We'll have to split the 377 up. So we'll get those loaded. We'll go ahead and split them off. I usually just split them 100 at a time. And then move them. And then just keep doing that. Moving them. And then rinse and repeat. We'll have to do it like 3 or 4 times. So it looks like we'll have 2 more trips. I mean, technically, I guess I could have split it in half and seen if it would fit. But theoretically, I should just be able to store that. Set it down in the cargo elevator. And then you can either try to sell it right from the container and see if that works. Or you could actually open up the container in your inventory and just transfer it over. Then when you want to split it anymore or walk it around. So another thing people do sometimes is they'll actually take one of the 1/8 SCU crates and they'll just throw it in the rock itself. I'm not sure if that still works. I haven't tried it yet, but that's an option. All right, so all right, we'll go ahead and do a little more flying around here and see if we can find more. If I don't find too much here within a short amount of time, I'll probably just go back to Stanton and stick with rock mining there when I rock mine. I usually try to keep it under a K, 1 kilometer above the surface. That seems to be where I get the best ratings. I don't seem to be going very fast in nav mode either, so that's another thing that's in play now. So your speed is going to be limited close to the ground, whether you're in nav mode or SCM, which kind of eliminates the reason for using nav mode while you're mining. Personally, I would much rather have my shields just in case I'm attacked, or like when a prospector, if a rock starts going or something, then it'll protect the ship. And then it's just a lot of nothing right now. I'll have to do the experiment and see if I see more on Bloom with like a ES or something. See if maybe it's just the radars. Maybe there's a difference in them now. I don't know. Or if there just really is not much here. But I mean, even when I'm prospector mining and Stanton and stuff like that, I usually come across stuff more often than this. I mean, there's just literally nothing showing. And I mean, I guess it's possible that there's just an issue with the servers right now or something. But I mean, typically you still pick up the readings on the ping, even if you can't scan the rocks or anything. So I don't think that's it. Yep. What do we got? Oh, that's the new cows, desert grazers. Can't really mind those. Guess you could farm them eventually. Not yet, but eventually. All right. Well, I don't really think we're going to find too much more here, so I'm probably going to go back to Stanton to rock mine. But for those that were asking, yes, you can rock mine in Pyro. Your mileage may vary. Maybe you go to another moon, another planet. Maybe you have better luck. But just my real quick run through on Bloom, I'm not impressed with the rock mining there. I mean, granted, there was a lot of apparite in that patch, but probably rivals or more than the stuff I found in Stanton. But I find a lot more patches in Stanton. So, so that's going to be it for this round. I guess we'll try again in Stanton at some point. If you have any questions or comments, I guess, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the videos, please like and subscribe so other people can see them too. And other than that, have a good day.